So that way she can not have to fight the traffic. And she made us laugh so much, we're like, we're setting you up for comedy, and she helped through. So help me welcome to the stage, Alicia Michaud.
Hey girl!
Don't be nervous. I can feel your palpitations.
I totally thought there was a sponsor between him and I, so I was back there just drinking my third drink. So, anyways, yes, Amber is correct. I would recommend if you're ever hanging out with her, never say anything remotely funny because you'll end up here on stage. I was literally down there in the bar the night before. I've done that the last couple of years, just having a drink, and I was like, "Oh, are you Amber and Kelly?" So dumb. My son was texting me, asking me to preheat the oven for his Bagel Bites, and I was texting him, "I'm downtown," and he was like, "So can you do it?" And I was like, "There are 4 other people literally in the house, and I'm downtown, so can you talk to them?" So that led me to showing them all of these memes I had just made from my son's football picture, just with this stupid crap that he says to me all the time, which they're on my Instagram, Lish Mish, if you want to check them out. But apparently they thought that was so funny. They were like, "Oh my God, you should totally be in the comedy show." And I was like, yeah. Anyways, here we are. So, honestly though, I'm really not that funny. I thought I would just maybe talk about the EXP revenue share program. Do y'all know we have 7 streams of income? No? I'm totally fucking with you. That might be the last time you laugh. Honestly though, it's 3 o'clock, so any of you guys have to go pick up your kids from school, now would be a good time. Like I said, I'm really not that funny. Just leave a check before you go. So I was actually looking through some of the PT50 numbers and stuff like that, and it's kind of crazy. I mean, it is really such an incredible organization, awesome people in the group. Yes. I mean, yes, it's awesome. When you look at some of these people, especially some of the individual agents, like I'm an individual agent, that are throwing up numbers, that they're doing, 75, 100, 150 deals a year. That's really insane. And I have been in the business for my career turned 21 years old this year. That's why I had 3 birthdays to celebrate. But so how many of y'all have been in real estate for longer than 10 years? Okay, how many longer than 15 years? We're all dead. There's 3 of us. So honestly, some of the things I'm going to tell you might not even be funny because you might not even get it. But so yeah, I started in 2000, which I don't know if y'all realize this, but in 2000 there was no DocuSign. I had an AOL email address. People did not have laptops. Y'all are listening to me like I'm telling you what was happening in the 30s, but this was what was happening in 2000. So, and it's funny because, y'all know the MLS right now, how you go to put in a listing. I don't know if you're like me, but I always start a listing, I'll import it from the tax records, and then I'll just hit submit. Because I want to see all those red triangles pop up, because there's a gajillion. And I play it like a game of Candy Crush, because I'm like, okay, one of these days, I'm going to be able to move from one level to the next and clear the board. I've literally never done that. It is so dumb. I mean, you get to that page where it's primary bedroom, primary bathroom, kitchen, and then you're like, why the frick do I still have the triangles? They're on the last page where they pop back up because you have to go back in and do the main floor master nonsense. Anyways, so imagine starting in real estate in 2000 and the MLS is DOS-based. Do any of y'all even remember what that is?
Yes.
So I had planned on having them show you a slide of what a DOS screen looks like, but I'm not shitting you. If we were searching for houses, we had to literally be ::3+ to find a 3-bedroom home. It was a hot mess. So yeah, so that's what we had to do first. So we did not have offer deadlines back then because it could be 72 hours after you list it, and we are all still trying to type in the computer code to even find your listing. It was a serious problem. So then, hold on. Go my notes. I don't remember reading glasses, but anyway, so then we, people did not even realize really have email back then, like not everybody. I mean, cell phones, we, in 2000, still had to type like the 7 4 times to do an S. So, I mean, we are talking like the Stone Ages back then. So we had to then get on the phone, like call our clients, like tell them about our listing. Like, are you shitting me? Like, oh hi, I have typed in the magical code into this one computer that is in my office that I had to drive in here and wait for Herb and Betty to finish their searches, and I found these homes for you, and I wanted to let you know what these are and see if you wanted to go see them. So you would do that. So you'd make all these appointments, and I, just like everybody else, I started in California. I'd be like, all right, we're gonna look at all this shit all over LA and Glendale and whatever. And so we didn't have map back then. We didn't have Siri. Who had a Mapsco book? Yes. So, I mean, picture like it's like a 15-pound book. And so the listings would say, it's so dumb. Like, I feel like maybe we even had this field on our MLS until like a few years ago. It would say like Mapsco, and it would have a page number, and then it had like a X and Y coordinate. I'm not even shitting you. It would be like page 420, 3X. And then you'd go to that little box and you'd find your little property, and then you'd like write out all the descriptions to go to these properties. It's ridiculous. So again, we did not have offer deadlines because you were still like mapping this shit out a week after the property was listed. Like nobody has even shown your listing yet because they can't find we are so lucky now. So lockbox keys, I had to Google this. Like those did not even become available to be on our phones, I think, until like 2010. So we had like a separate little doohickey, and I guarantee you, if you had driven into the office to look this shit up on the office computer, your lockbox key was at home. So it didn't matter where you were, you didn't have it. So you would have to go get it, and back then, they only updated once a month. So if you were gonna rob a bank or do a home invasion or something like that, you would just do that on like the day after the update. And you had plenty of time to continue to show property because you had a month until you had to update that key and they would cut it off. So you would go into the office and there would be like a little cradle on the counter, and it was hooked into like a phone line, like an actual cord, and it made like the number, like the nonsense like a fax machine, and it would like call in and find out like, is she a criminal? Like, can she still show houses? Okay, she's good. So again, you'd go in, and if Herb and Betty were there, like you were maybe waiting in line behind them. So you go and you'd show these properties, and this is so ridiculous. Our contracts back then, if they were like, okay, you want to buy this house, you would be like, oh my God, do I have a contract with me? Because the contracts were these, who remembers this? If you're over the age of 80, you might remember it. They were like triple sheets each page. Do y'all remember this? And there was like a white copy, and then a yellow copy, and then a pink copy. And they were like super tissue paper thin, and you would write it on the contract, and you would have to like press super hard. So it would go through all the copies, but not too hard, because then you'd have stuff that you wrote on page 1 on page 8 underneath that. You'd rip out the pages. They were so thin, they seriously were like tissue paper. You'd be like, here's your copy. I'm gonna go back to the office with the yellow sheets in here, and I'm gonna put them in the fax machine, and I'm gonna stand there and fucking pray that they don't get jammed, because if they do, they're gonna be like those little paper fans, and you're totally fucked. You are gonna have to like drive back over to your client's house and be like, either, can I get those pink copies from you? But I think maybe the pink didn't register in the fax, or I don't fucking know. It was such a hot mess. Anyways, so if you were lucky enough that they went through, then what did you do? Does anybody know? No, you'd fucking sit there and wait for the fax confirmation. And you'd be standing there with Herb and Betty, and you'd be like making small talk, and you'd be like, oh my God, I cannot believe this system where we have to like type in the semicolons in the threes and the nonsense to find our 3-bedroom houses. You know what they would say to you? Oh my God, when I started in 1952, the listings were in a book. And you had to drive in and look at the book. Anyways. So, my point is, some perspective. I mean, we are like so lucky right now. I mean, deals that we are doing right now in residential real estate are literally like, we can do 10, we can do 15, we can do 20. They're almost like commercial deals. Like back then, you couldn't even get an offer accepted. It took like a week, 2 weeks. Like you would fax someone the offer and they'd be like, oh, I'm not in the office. I'll be back on Monday. Like I'm not even shitting you. So it's really funny today. We are so spoiled. I mean, if you would have told me back in 2000 that we could get in our car and push a button and be like, just tell them the address, and your car would be like, okay, I know exactly where to go. I know how to beat all the traffic. I'll get you the fastest way that we possibly can go. And for some of us, it'll even fucking drive you there. We are like living in Jetson times right now. Like seriously, you go back, our super keys are on our phone, something we have to carry around at all times. They literally update themselves like poof, through the air. Like there's no cradles, there's no fax machines, we can pull up templates on our phone, we can do all this stuff in like a moment's notice. It's so easy. But honestly though, what do we love to do as realtors? Well, we love to talk, but we love to complain. I mean, come on, we love to complain. I mean, but my point in telling you all this is it's like, there's just perspective to be had to think about where we have come from in the last 20 years. It's kind of crazy. I mean, did y'all realize that nobody had laptops in 2000? So I looked it up. DocuSign apparently did come out in 1999, but it wasn't really like mainstream. Nobody had it until, I want to say like 2008. Laptops people don't have until 2005. But people were not texting in 2000. The fact that I am as young as I am and I use a DOS-based MLS is kind of crazy. Anyways, so I'm just going to leave you with this. It's kind of one of the things that I see all the time. I guess I would consider myself to be like an old-timer realtor because I've been doing this for 21 years, which is kind of crazy because I'm only like 25. So I was having this conversation last week at a convention about I asked a couple people, like, what is your biggest annoyance? What is your biggest complaint in real estate? And every single one of them said the same thing, and it was young, stupid realtors. It's a problem. I mean, it really is. So I was thinking about it, and there's a lot. Did y'all know that the MLS or the license numbers on Trek right now, they start with 78, which is kind of crazy. I thought maybe we were at 8 already. We're not. But we've got all these new agents in the market, and the problem is that we've got all this technology. And it is so much easier than it was 20 years ago, but I think we can all agree that there's a lot of other stuff that's super hard. But we're just all making it really hard on ourselves. And I meant to have this, just like the DOS screen, up on a slide, but whatever, I'm a slacker. Actually, I've just been super slammed. Didn't get a chance to it, but I mean, look at these. Can you all see this? Y'all in the first row? Like, this is what people are posting on Facebook. Sold. 201,000 over asking in 2 days. And then you got these two guys in the front, they're not from here, with their shit-eating grins and their nice suits. And so you've literally, this is what we're putting out there. Like, oh my God, it is so easy. 3% of 201,000, I did this in 2 days. Every time one of y'all posts one of these on the internet, 15 morons hit apply on the Trek website. Like, seriously, I'm not even kidding you. Y'all need to cut this shit. Cut this shit out. I mean, I read the other day, I seriously read the statistic. What is it? 1 in every 1.5 adults in Austin has a real estate license. I'm kidding. I think it's honestly like maybe 1 in 1.75. Everyone has a real estate license. Anyways, why is that? Who is that comedian? Jeff Foxworthy? Yeah. Foxworthy, that's the third vodka right there. Jeff Foxworthy. He says, here's your sign. Here's your sign. It's your fault. We keep posting these every time. How many calls did you get this week asking you to show your listing that says vacant go? Did anyone get one of those calls? I got like 3 of those calls while I was sitting back there waiting to come up here. This is why, right here. Y'all need to cut this shit out. How many of y'all got a call this week asking how many offers you have on your listing when literally the first fucking line in the instructions is multiple offers received, offers due on Monday? Anybody? Really? I mean, yeah, it's insane. This is why, right here. I'm just gonna leave y'all with this. I'm done. I have nothing else to say. But y'all need to stop posting stuff like this because this is why. This is why we have 842,000 realtors in Austin. Here's your